Fair housing for housing providers and lenders. Who are housing providers and lenders? Anyone involved in the real estate transaction. For example, landlords, rental agencies, lenders, insurers, real estate agents, and housing agencies. During this workshop, you will learn the basics of fair housing, including complaints by transaction type, what is prohibited, examples of violations and discrimination, exemptions, good housing practices to follow, and legal action. We are a local nonprofit founded in 1994. We work with low-income and minority communities in the Southwest to help protect the environment and improve community health. We are committed to helping eliminate fair housing biases and prejudices in our community to make our community a place where everyone can live, work, and engage. We are able to provide you this workshop through our Education and Outreach Initiative program, thanks to funding from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, also known as HUD. So what is the Fair Housing Act? In 1968, the Fair Housing Act, FHA, was signed, making it illegal for people to discriminate in any aspect of housing based on an individual's race, color, national origin, religion, sex, familial status, and disability. Race refers to a family, tribe, or group of people coming from the same common ancestors. Color refers to the visible color of a person's skin. National origin refers to the country in which a person was born or from which a person's ancestors came. Religion refers to all aspects of religious belief, observance, and practice. Religion includes both the practice and non-practice of religion, such as atheism, as well as religions that are outside the mainstream. Sex includes gender, male or female. It also includes sexual orientation and gender identity. Familial status. All families with children are protected by the FHA against familial status discrimination, including single-parent households and same-sex couples with children. Disability. This refers to both physical and mental disabilities. People who are regarded as disabled or have a record of a disability are also protected. So why is fair housing important? It ensures everyone gets access to resources they want, and it affects the rest of our lives. Housing discrimination affects where someone lives, where someone receives education, where someone is employed, access to goods and services, for example, food, healthcare, insurance rates, access to safety, wealth for home equity, access to social and professional mobility. Where the Fair Housing Act applies. You might be curious where the Fair Housing Act applies. The Fair Housing Act applies to when people are renting or buying a home, getting a mortgage, seeking housing assistance, or engaging in any other housing-related transactions. Complaints by transaction type. You can see here that 83.75% is by rental-related complaints. What is prohibited? Refusing to provide or make housing available, have unequal or housing policies to different tenants or home buyers. Setting preferences verbally or in writing, falsely representing housing availability, persuading homeowners to sell or rent due to one or more individuals of a protected class coming into that neighborhood. Discrimination on the basis of disability, interfering with anyone expressing or assisting someone else on their fair housing rights. Refusing mortgage services. Creating different or less favorable terms and conditions for making or purchasing a mortgage loan, the rates, points, and fees. Discriminating in appraising property, discriminating in provision of brokerage services. Blockbusting. Blockbusting is when a housing provider communicates to a homeowner that they should sell their home because of a protected class are moving into the neighborhood. When housing providers buy homes from white homeowners below market value, it is also when housing providers buy homes from white homeowners below market value, suspecting the neighborhood will be less valuable with minority integration in the once segregated neighborhood. Examples of violations. Steering families with children to other apartment buildings, mobility impaired tenants' requests for an assigned parking space, oral statement by owner that the preference will be given to applicants of a particular nationality, possible verbal signs of discrimination. No dogs allowed on this property, no exceptions. We only take people that speak English clearly. You might be more comfortable living elsewhere. I'll show you neighborhoods with mosques. Fair Housing Act exemptions. Here are situations in which the Fair Housing Act does not apply. Single-family house, Miss Murphy, owner-occupied property. This means if a dwelling has 4 or less rental units and the homeowner lives in one of them. Religious organization, private club, housing for older persons. Fair Housing Act exemption, continue. Here are more situations in which the Fair Housing Act does not apply. Reasonable occupancy standards, persons convicted of drug manufacturing or distribution, persons whose tenancy presents a direct threat to health, safety, or property. Good practices for housing providers and lenders. It is important for your employees to be knowledgeable on fair housing by having them take training courses like this workshop. Have a non-discriminatory policy at your housing firm or brokerage. Make sure anyone who inquires about your properties are treated the same and the application is available to everyone. Give all housing applicants the same housing specs. Make sure your advertising promotes equal housing opportunity and includes the logo. Have the applicant qualifications given to all applicants in writing. If someone's application has been rejected, notify them in a timely manner and give a reason why. For people with disabilities, allow and include information on how they can request reasonable accommodations and modifications on the property. Keep all records, including changes to your criteria. If you have a client or know someone who has experienced unlawful discrimination in housing, they can file a complaint with us. We are a certified Arizona relay-friendly partner for those with hearing loss or speech disability. We review and respond to each complaint and collect any other necessary intake information. Then we will refer their complaint to the proper agency who will assist them in a resolution of unfair housing problems due to the enforcement authority. Here are the 4 different ways your client can file a complaint with SERI. We will respond within 1 business day and refer your complaint to the proper agency. Here's a video with our partner at Southwest Fair Housing Council.
Hi there, my name is Savannah Sayers and I am the Education Outreach and Media Coordinator here at the Southwest Fair Housing Council. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization based in Arizona. We do have physical offices in Tucson, but we receive state and federal grant funding that requires that we do our work throughout the entire state. We work to put an end to housing discrimination. That is what we aim to do. We do this through outreach like this, through videos, also through classes and trainings for housing providers, the general public, as well as social service organizations and other companies as they request it. Everyone needs to be aware of their fair housing rights. We also are an organization that takes in these housing complaints when someone has experienced discrimination, and we work with our clients for free along with pro bono attorneys to potentially reach settlements for our clients against the housing provider that's in question. We are pleased to work with and partner with other organizations such as SERI to further our mission, as well as theirs in putting an end to housing discrimination. We know there are thousands of unreported cases of housing discrimination that go unreported due to lack of knowledge, lack of education, and a fear of being retaliated against even by their housing provider for coming forward. Hopefully through outreach like ours and other organizations, we can help people come forward if they are experiencing housing discrimination. Please head to our website, swfhc.com, if you or anyone you know has experienced housing discrimination. There we have tons of resources and contact information as well. Thank you.
What happens if you violate the Fair Housing Act? Who is liable? It is important to remember that you can be held liable even if you are not directly discriminating against someone in housing, or if you did not know the laws. Legal action can be taken. Potential plaintiffs, person experiencing housing discrimination, children who were to live in the property, CHRO, Chief Human Resource Officer, HUD, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, private fair housing group. Potential defendants would be, for example, real estate agents, agents, employer or supervisor, property owner, manager/management company, condominium association, cooperative homeowners association, individual members of management company, condo association, co-op, depending on their conduct. Here you can see that all the potential relief to the plaintiff are financial related. Here you can see there can be consequential and punitive damages as well to the plaintiff. Here are our resources from the workshop. We hope you have learned more about fair housing for housing providers and lenders.